Bethesda had me very worried right from the outset. First, they opened with a bunch of kids talking about their parents being developers and a bunch of developers talking about what they're working on. It was very, very weird. Also, Pete Hines spent a lot of time talking about stuff that was already out. Then there was the whole Bethesda Land stuff, which I thought was too cutesy for the Disney thing. I get why they were doing it because it was kind of like that Nuka Land thing that was in Fallout 4's DLCs last year. There was the Morrowind reactions, just more YouTube stars and streamers. It felt so weird. And the Doom VFR and the Fallout VR, no interest to me at this point because I don't have VR. It's interesting that Fallout 4 is a whole game in VR, but they kind of talked about that last year. And there was the Creation Club for all the hubs for Skyrim and Fallout 4 and the Elder Scrolls Legends, and then the port for Skyrim has the amiibo support. It was just all a lot of stuff where I felt like, man, this feels really, really padded. Like, they didn't come out of the gates with something, you know, smashing and riveting. And then Dishonored Death of the Outsider is just some, like a DLC pack for 2, or it's a standalone one. They didn't really specify, but that's coming out the 15th. And then they talked about Quake Champs a little bit, again, with some more esports stuff, and that was a good half the press conference, and I was not enthused at all. And then they saved the best for last. And it was incredible. It blew my mind. I was hoping for this. We had some leaks before the press conference, but I was just hoping that it wasn't some weird thing. But yes, Evil Within 2 is a real thing. And it was a weird CG trailer that I thought dragged on a little too long, and then they showed some gameplay stuff, and I was like, oh, awesome! This looks fantastic! And then it ended with, launching this year, October 13th! I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure this was something that they were gonna, you know, save or whatever, or have a demonstration afterwards. But no. And then they had a lot of weird stuff with Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus. They had like this weird FMV stuff of like alternate realities, which I thought was actually pretty funny. And then they had a lot of story stuff, and then a little bit of gameplay in the trailer. These two things were maybe 4 minutes apiece, and then the press conference ended. This whole thing was 30-40 minutes. Really tight at the end, and just meandering in the beginning, as if they wanted to keep their press slot, but didn't have a lot to announce or prepared, because I feel like they could have had an entire hour with all those small announcements, and then a gameplay demonstration of Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2. They just had trailers. Pete Hines literally came out in the beginning and the end. That's it. I appreciate that it didn't, you know, last that long, but at the same time, it was just confusing. If Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2 had a big demonstration, both, maybe 10 minutes each, I would give this thing a 4. But because it was just kind of very quick, but still awesome, because both those games are coming out this year. I don't think I mentioned that. Wolfenstein 2, October 27th, which is unsettling, because why would you put two of your games out almost side by side? I know a lot of people do that a lot, Ubisoft especially this past year. My thinking is one of those two games is going to get delayed. I'm thinking it's probably going to be the Japanese one. So yeah, I'm thinking that Evil Within 2 is going to get delayed, but hopefully not. Yeah, just kind of a weird pacing issue, which is what I've had the problems with EA and Microsoft as well. I do think it's better than Microsoft, even though it was shorter, just because Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein were just like two of the games I've been waiting for a very long time, especially Evil Within 2. I love that game to death. Screw you to all the haters that didn't like that game. Just kidding. You can hate whatever you want, but seriously, I'm just very excited. And now I'm meandering and making this longer than it has to be. So yeah, overall, 3 out of 5. Two awesome ending things. Weird, a lot of beginning stuff. Join me tomorrow as I go over Ubisoft and Sony, but for tonight, I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you for joining me. Did you know that was a Reaction Examiner video? If you liked it, you should subscribe to me to keep up with everything that I'm doing. Also, if you have some other interests, like sex for example, check out Tomups, which is a comedy sex podcast thing wherein my best friend and I check out the weird and abnormal and the erotic. And of course, you should support me on Patreon because, hey, I want to make the channel better and I want your help to do so Plus, if you want to check out my writing, check out Game Jerk, where I have archives and new stuff for all projects, okay? You can find all the stuff and more in the description with the links below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.